everybody and welcome back to my channel, and today is a very exciting fall taste test because for the first time ever I have the luxury, the joy, the opportunity to have Tim Hortons. That is right, folks. Today we are going to be taste testing the Tim Hortons fall line of drinks. Am I Canadian? No. Do I live so far north in New York now that I have access to a Tim Hortons? Yes, and I know that it has to be good because the line was around the block. Like, I waited 15 minutes for this. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So without further ado, let's try Tim Hortons for the first time ever. Starting off with our drinks, we have a small maple cinnamon sugar cold brew, and first of all, I'm a sucker for maple. Second of all, the top of this has a little maple leaf on it, and it's so cute. All right, let's give it a little stir. Let's get it all mixed together. Okay, also, I respect the fact that this is like a pop top and not something that I need a straw for, which I carry around my own reusable straws anyway, but it's still always nice when there is a pop top. That's good. That's good. This is really good. I want to start off by saying that I wish that there was a little bit more maple flavoring because it is a little bit more cinnamon forward, and I was really looking forward to the maple. Not to say that there's not maple in here because it's like a lingering aftertaste. It's very subtle, but it's definitely there, and I am a sucker for maple syrup to say the very least. But it's smooth, it's sweet. I would absolutely drink this like year round. This is very tasty, it's very delicious, and it's like, it's seasonal without being like overpoweringly seasonal, if that makes any sense. And it's overall a good cup of cold brew. I will say, I mean, you can see the color of this. This is light. There's a lot of cream to cold brew ratio in this. I also would like if there was just a little bit less cream, but like overall, this is a 4 out of 5 stars. Like, this is delicious. I will drink this again. I believe for the small, it was like $4. Next up, I have to determine which of these is which because I got 2 lattes and they're not labeled. I want to say that this one is pumpkin spice and this one is not pumpkin spice. We're gonna start with the one that I think is not pumpkin spice because I don't know, we'll just find out, I guess. I picked up these coffees almost 30 minutes ago, and the whipped cream on top is like almost fully intact still. I don't know what Tim Hortons is doing, but they are doing whipped cream right. Because if I were to have picked these up from Starbucks, if I were to have picked these up from Dunkin', the whipped cream would have deflated in like the 4-minute drive back to my apartment. So thank you. Oh my gosh, the texture of this too, it's like holding its shape. Only I had a spoon. It's like, it's thick. Like, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. It's like you can like chew it. It's so good. Oh my gosh. It's like if they piped mousse on top. Okay, we're gonna start by just giving it a little mix to get all the syrup off the bottom. Okay. Okay, I was right. This is not pumpkin spice. This is the small caramel apple iced latte. I really like the flavor of this. It's almost like if there was apple juice in it, which I'm not quite sure if there is apple juice in it, but it is delicious. Okay, so according to the description, this is what it is. The caramel apple latte blends natural apple, caramel, and cinnamon flavors, creating a taste that's like a hug in a cup. Blended with our espresso and milk, topped with whipped topping and a drizzle of caramel syrup. This is delicious. It really is like coffee with apple juice, which I'm not always the biggest fan like of fruity coffees, but this it genuinely tastes real. Like, it doesn't taste like that artificial flavoring that you get a lot of the time that just, leaves a bad aftertaste. Once again, this is a 4 out of 5. It's mostly because I'm having trouble a tad bit of trouble computing the fruit in my coffee being how fruity it is, but it genuinely is delicious. I think that this would be amazing as a chai latte, like a chai mix instead of the espresso, because it genuinely is, like the description says, fall in a cup, a hug in a cup. And I think that the spiced tea that is chai would just go really, really well with the apple. So I'm gonna have to see if they can do that, and we might have to try that in another video. And last but not least, for our drinks, we have a classic pumpkin spiced latte. The pumpkin spiced latte is a creamy espresso based beverage served with cold pumpkin spice flavored syrup, topped with whipped cream and pumpkin spice flavored drizzle. So let's give it a go. I'm sad to say that this is my least favorite one thus far. I do like the pumpkin syrup that was on top and the whipped topping. However, like the coffee itself it tastes pumpkin-y almost, but there's no like warmth and like cinnamony, nutmeggy, caramely flavors in there at all. So it genuinely is kind of just like if there was pumpkin puree like blended into a cup of coffee, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you don't like things that are overly sweet. But I was honestly just hoping to have a coffee that was a little bit more like seasoned, for lack of better phrasing. Like it needs pumpkin pie spice on top of the pumpkin flavoring. I think it's still pretty solid. Like this is a 3 out of 5 stars. But it is my least favorite drink so far, but it is like, it's gorgeous. Another thing that every single drink has had in common though is how light they are. Like this is a really light cup of coffee, to say the very least. This is also the cheapest drink, coming in at $3.19 for a small, compared to the $4 for the cold brew and the $4.50 for the caramel apple latte. So like it isn't bad for what it is. I just had slightly higher expectations for it based on how the other 2 drinks were, because the other 2 drinks were like genuinely really, really good, and this one it didn't really compare to the other 2. Last but not least, we have our food item. Now this is our pumpkin spiced muffin, and she looks delicious. She has like pumpkin seeds on top and everything. Like look at her. We got that classic orangey color that comes with pumpkin. I think one thing that often goes wrong with muffins, regardless of where you get them from, you know, you might get them fast food, you might get them from the grocery store or a wholesale club, wherever it is, wherever they come from, a lot of the time I think they are overly sweet. And that's not to say I don't love a sweet muffin, because I'm going to inhale it regardless, but sometimes you don't want to eat something that's like super, super, super sweet, especially first thing in the morning for breakfast. And this nails the flavors of fall without being like overpowering. Like I could eat the whole thing of this and feel satisfied and not like heavy and weighed down, which sometimes happens when you consume something that's really sweet. So like this for me is a 5 out of 5. This is a delicious muffin. So like, thank you Tim Hortons for getting your pumpkin spice muffins correct. Now it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for, the best and the least best. For our least best, I'm sorry to do this because the whole point of this video was essentially to try the pumpkin spice latte, but it just didn't do it for me. I liked the syrup on top, I liked the whipped topping on top, but it just wasn't spiced enough. It was, I would say that it's a pumpkin latte, but it's not a pumpkin spice latte. And that's my personal opinion. Try it at will. And you can tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments, because maybe I just got a bad one. And now for the best, we are going to give it to our caramel apple latte. I was actually really impressed with it. I didn't think that I would like it as much as I did. And I wasn't expecting it to taste like real apples. Like it genuinely, like I feel like there's apple juice in there and not just like apple flavoring, because it doesn't have that same like heavy sour like artificial flavoring that happens a lot of the time when you get like a fruit flavored anything that's a drink, because you know that it comes from a syrup. So I just I'm impressed that they made it taste the way that it did, considering that it is like a syrup. So that's all. That's really all. But all of that being said, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and comment down below like what your favorite Tim Hortons drink is, or if you've ever tried it, because this is my first time ever trying Tim Hortons and I did like it, and I want to go back and I want to try what your guys' favorite drinks are, because I need to culture myself on the Canadian phenomena that is Tim Hortons. I gotta go get some Timbits. I gotta go get other things that Tim Hortons sells that I don't know the name of. So let me know what I should try next from Tim Hortons. But like I said, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I love you guys so much, and I'll see you very, very soon, and bye.